Mr. Gibson, what's up, coach? It's been a few years, man. How are you?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's
Thanks for
me and
having me,
Mr.
guys.
Burns here now.
It's great to see you both, man. Great to see you both. I'm excited to be here with you guys and talk about the big fight next week.
Exactly. So we're doing this the Thursday before fight week. We'll do something different. I always want to talk about you and what you have going on, but this time we're gonna avoid a little bit because how's Jones?
And
That's the big name.
Jon is awesome. I know the fans have been waiting. We've been working on this fight for pretty much a year and a half now, so I'm very excited to be just at this point where we had an incredible training camp. It was more than I could have ever asked for. I've done a lot of camps with Jon. I've done over 15 camps. And I was just on the phone with him about an hour ago, and we were just talking about it couldn't have gone better, this camp. That injury was a blessing in disguise in so many ways. And, I believe everything works in the good Lord's timing, and we're going to be able to show that on Saturday.
That was gonna be one of my first questions, like because he got the injury, everything went down, and then like it took a while for him to come back. But then I'm looking at his training camp, I'm like, wow, Gabriel Stevenson, Gordon Ryan, a lot of great guys. Like for sure, he's in a better shape than the last one.
Hmm.
I'm not saying shape, but he's in a better moment right now. Like everyone's around, like the atmosphere. Like how's that camp going?
That's right, Gilbert. It's just been an incredible camp. Like the training partners we've been able to put together, so many incredible coaches that have come through, incredible training partners, and just so much more knowledge, such high just pride and brotherhood, all the things that really make a training camp great. And then and we also have just the coaches that have always been there, and those coaches like myself, we've been putting in more effort than we ever have. So it's been an incredible camp to be a part of. It's one I'm gonna remember for my whole life, and yeah, I'm excited to show the world what we've been working on.
And that's true because it might be the last one. So you guys doing everything just in case it might be the last.
That's right, and that's how I approached every practice as a coach. Right, sometimes it's easy to just kind of be in the grind and the routine of just going and holding pads and watching sparring and all of those. But I've been working with Jon since like 2008 or 2009, since we were both young men, and so I've really approached every single practice as like this might be our last rodeo. So I just came and showed up with my very, very best, my attitude, my knowledge, my skills, every day of this camp. So no, I don't take any of it for granted.
That is all. How did you feel about? Because I'm only gonna talk about this because I saw Jones talking about it on his fight with Cyril Gain, that just before he shoot for that takedown, he went for some exchanges and it felt a little awkward. What do you? How did you see that? He was just like he was away for so long, or the extra weight that he put in kind of like get him, because training is one thing and the fight time it's a totally different animal, right? Like he's trying like I still remember like he went a little sick, and then it was like, oh, whatever, I'm just gonna take this down and get over with.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of factors, right? Like there was a long layoff. It's a new weight class. Cyril's a very dangerous fighter with a unique style. And part of it's just getting into the rhythm, right? Like finding your rhythm as the fight starts. You got to be ready when the bell rings. And I think even though Jon may have felt off, maybe as fans we didn't really even as coaches maybe we didn't even see it. I just thought he was kind of finding his timing. Jon's really good at like just collecting info, collecting data. What is the opponent giving? What are they feinting? What combos are they going for? And we'd really trained in preparation for Cyril's left cross. And so when he finally let that go, man, Jon just his muscle memory took over and got a beautiful takedown right into the grappling. So made a
After
great night.
that long away from the cage, does it almost feel like he was way too fast? We could stay a little longer in a
No,
weird way, or you just want to get it over with?
never, man. We'll always take a victory like that, right?
That's
An
right.
unscathed victory against a very dangerous opponent with such high stakes. We'll always take that,
Look at Gilbert's face. It's like, what the hell,
right?
man? That's the golden goal, right? Like get in, get out, no
Yeah,
sweat,
no scars, no souvenirs,
He
no
didn't got
damage.
nothing, right? You know,
nothing,
like
no
maybe
one punch.
even a jab. Like that's the
Yeah,
best way to win, right, coach?
I'll take it every time. I'll take it every time.
No shit, right?
Because the other side, right? Like, hey, maybe sometimes a fight like the first Gustafsson fight, it's legendary, it's a Hall of Fame fight, but you leave part of yourself in there,
Yeah,
and then there's no dancing after the fight. You're in a hospital, you're getting stitched up, people are crying, and yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice. So when you have a night like that just is so smooth, it's a blessing. You got to just roll with it and be grateful.
that's true. That's true.
That'd be grateful. But now, like I got that point that like he maybe was a little, not long fighting. He wasn't fighting for so long, and they came back to heavyweight. But then going to this fight, I like my opinion. Like I like when he's a little leaner, the way he looks right
Yeah,
now, like 240, maybe around that.
yeah.
And I look at that clip when the first time that he posts that he almost, if you let it go, he'll knocked out Gabriel Stevenson with the flying knee after a couple. He looks so smooth. He looked like I like that way so much better. How do you like the way he looks physically right now?
Oh, I agree. I agree, Gilbert. Like seeing John leaner, fast. Um, his hips are super open. He's able to do all of his dynamic techniques that he's so famous for. I love seeing that John, right? Like
Yeah.
as opposed to the first fight at heavyweight where, he wanted to match size. He didn't want to be outweighed by Cyril Gain. So, a lot of it was about bulking up. So you weren't overpowered. But for this fight, it's like, man, let's just make you the best Jon Jones possible. And maybe Stipe comes in a little bit heavier. Maybe Stipe is a little lighter. I'm not sure, but I really like where John's at. He's doing all of his incredible techniques. He's explosive, and he feels good, right? You look good, you feel good. He's ready to perform.
Oh, that's the best way. And when I remember him at 205, he was already the biggest guy. He was. I think
Hmm.
that was a little bit his mentality. At that division, I'm the biggest. I'm go up. I gotta be the biggest. But then I think he lost a little bit. Maybe the mobility. Maybe the I don't know. But now he looks amazing. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
think it depends on like the style, right? Right, champ, like the style of the opponent you're facing. So,
Yeah.
if he was going to fight Francis, I think John wanted to be really at 265.
Okay.
Um, with Stipe, we want to be able to be very fast, light on the feet, good footwork. Um, and so that's the John we're going to see next week.
It's amazing. And I was with Gordon Ryan like maybe 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago
2 weeks ago.
in Chicago. We were training Derek and Moneyberg. He was there. We had fun there. We training for a little bit, and then I asked him, "Hey, how's it going with Joe? How's everything going?" And he said, "Bro, I love it." And he told me something that I got crazy about it. He said, "Bro, we don't train Saturday and Sunday. I don't know if you guys still doing that." He said, "We don't train Saturday and Sunday, but we do 4 sessions a day." And then like, what? He said, "Yeah, for sure, a couple of sessions are like very, very nice, good pace. But that's how you guys do. You guys do 4 sessions a day, kind of like when he's in camp."
Yeah, it's a heavy schedule. It's a heavy schedule. It's a lot to stay disciplined to. It's a lot for all the coaches to continue to work together and stay in good communication. So we're not overtraining him, we're not burning him out, we're not putting him at risk for injury. And that's one amazing thing about this team is everybody communicates together so well. And the goal is for John to be the best John he could be on November 16th. But yeah, we also want to make sure we give him his good rest during the weekend. So John gets a lot of time down, he gets to rest and recover, and then get right back at it on Mondays. So it's something that's just always worked for John and his structure and our past camps. So yeah, we like it.
That's pretty cool. What about this? We are all kind of talking and expecting this to be Jones' last fight because he said it like many times. I don't think he ever confirmed, but he was always in the air. Like, say, yeah, it might be my last one. It might be yesterday. They say, look, they were talking about Aspinall, and I agree 100% on everything that John is talking about Aspinall. I was like, first of all, Aspinall would not even be interim champ if John didn't get hurt that was not even being in a conversation. He would be a top contender, but that was about it. Uh, now he's saying, hey, I would love to fight Alex Pereira. And then like Brazil is in shock because Alex is the guy of the moment in Brazil and talking the biggest possible fight. I've been talking this on my channel and the podcast for a while. So like this is probably like the biggest fight in UFC history, especially because Alex keeps knocking people out and building his legacy. So this fight is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every time each one of those guys fight. So how do you see that matchup and the possible build up for a fight like that? Of course, getting past Stipe next Saturday, but
Yeah, God willing, everything goes smooth on Saturday, and if Jon does continue to fight again, and maybe it's not immediate, right? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll kind of leave that up to Jon and see how the fight goes on Saturday. But I do like this idea that, if there's another fight, look, this would be Jon's 17th championship. Like,
that's crazy.
The resume's filled. So now, like he said, it's about legacy. I don't think somebody like Tom Aspinall at this point in Tom's career does much for Jon's legacy. There'll always be an ex-contender. There'll always be an ex-contender. And the fans can always say, like, whenever a great champion leaves the sport, they're always, oh, but what about that one other guy? It's like, Jon doesn't care about that. He cares about legacy. He cares about his vision. And somebody like Pereira is somebody that would get us excited, right? Like, such a great champion already at 2 weight classes. He's defended his belt numerous times already. Incredible skill, aura, and that Bushido, right? We have the utmost respect for him as a fighter. So I think that would be a fight that, like you said, Rafael, the fans would be excited about. It would be a huge draw, and maybe belts are on the line, maybe not. Maybe it's just about who's the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah, that'll be something it's
like
crazy to even think about it. Jon needs that, right? Like something that get him out of the bed and say, look, because you're getting a guy like you say, like there's 16 belts on his shelf right now. It's like, how do you get that guy out of bed 8 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, like motivated to say, oh, one more? Like, when is that enough? And that's why I get it. Like, why Stipe and why Pereira, and he needs that to kind of like shake him up, right?
Yeah, Jon's somebody that thrives under motivation for legacy, right? It's not the money, it's not the belts, it's the matchups, and it's how he'll be remembered. So I like that there's a great champion like Poirier out there right now that would get Jon excited for a potential another camp. So yeah, we'll see, man. It's a dangerous fight, right? Like, that's something if we win Saturday, when we win on Saturday, that's probably the next fight I just dive into tape study and strategizing.
I got a good feeling about that. They flew Pereira from Mexico to New York just for that fight. That's something cooking in the background.
I hope so. We'll see.
And I like the other side of the story too. If you think about it, those guys were super cool at the Sphere. You saw they took a picture. I don't know how was the conversation, because for sure his translator was over there, so they talked a little bit. They were so cool. Took a picture. They had fun. And then Jon Jones say, I might fight this guy. And I see an interview maybe this week or a week ago from Don't Ask Me Now. Hey, I'm going to be there in New York. I'm going to poke a little bit Steve. I'm going to poke a little bit Jon Jones. And like, I don't think that's the best strategy, right? If he just called out Pereira, that was very nice for him. But he didn't call out like, oh, let's fight. But he called out like, if I gotta do one more fight, I'm going for the biggest fight for the legacy. But I don't think that Tom asked me, oh, I'm going to go there, poke a little bit Steve, poke a little bit Jon Jones. You think that's going to work? That's not going to work, right?
I'm with you. I don't think it's going to do much. It's not going to aggravate him or irritate him or take him out of the process or take him away from his big goals. So, it seems like Tom's a loudmouth. He's trying to talk his way into the fight. Where like Alex is out there continuing to fight and win in devastating fashion. Like, that's what we're looking for.
I had Alex a few weeks ago here on the channel, and I asked him, I say, hey, how was that conversation with Jones? You guys gonna try? Because there was a conversation like he might spend a couple of weeks there and train with you guys and exchange some knowledge and stuff. That's probably out of the table right now. But Alex say, look, I didn't want, because I asked, I said, are you going? Because we're still like a month away from his fight. Are you still guys? he's like, look, I got so many commitments right now, like travels and stuff like that, that I just don't want to text the guy and say, hey, I'm gonna pop by, and then I just don't have the time for it. So after everything's done by January, February, I'll probably go spend a few weeks or something like that. Like now, I'm hoping he doesn't.
Well, and if John decides to retire, right, then that door is
Yeah.
always open for Alex and his team as well, right? Like it would be great to see Alex down here with Gable Stevenson. So,
Ooh.
we're all martial artists. We got a lot of respect, and maybe they get to, maybe there's never a fight. Maybe there is a great fight between them, and then they train afterwards. But
That would be awesome.
And also Gable's training, so he has a little thing coming because he was here at the gym. He stayed here for like a week or so. He was training. Guy has power. He has good footwork already. Do you think he might get a UFC fight soon, or he get MMA
I
fight?
would, he's already such a great champion. That I think whatever he chooses to set his mind to, he will succeed at. So if MMA becomes his next mission, I think Gilbert that he could become a UFC fighter in no time, and also a UFC heavyweight champion in no time.
True. And that would be amazing because if Pereira does go there, if that fight don't happen with Jon Jones, how crazy would be that match? Jon Jones, Gable Stevenson, Pereira, that would be a crazy. I still think is I don't know, it's my opinion. I think Jon Jones is gonna win Saturday. I think he's going to retire, but I think he always gonna give that little sense that if the right fight pops up, if the money is right, I don't think
Sure.
he's gonna close that door forever. You know what I mean? Like it's very hard for a guy that grow up doing that fight like that. I just think Jon Jones gonna slightly push the door to the side and we'll see. We'll see. If
Yeah, we'll
something
see.
interesting, I'll come back, but I think that what do you think?
Yeah, it's ingrained so deep in us, right? To just train every day, to always have a goal, always be on a mission, And then at the same time, I'm like, man, if anybody's deserved to just walk away, it's
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah,
Did you have
I'll
a
let
conversation with him about that? Like, do you know? I don't want to know, obviously, but do you know what's gonna happen, or it's gonna be a surprise?
No one knows if
I think it's going to be a surprise. I think it's going to be based on how this fight goes and how he feels and next opportunities. And like Gilbert said, I don't know if the door will ever be fully shut, right? I think you're always going to be open to possibilities and what ifs. And on the same side too, I could see John 100% walking away from the sport and also becoming a great coach. Like maybe one day Gable Stevenson's winning the UFC heavyweight belt and Coach Jon Jones is in the corner, just like Khabib has already, worked to develop champions. I could see John doing the same. He's a brilliant strategist, has great technique, incredible teammate and training partner, and I could see John also becoming a championship coach.
Really cool. Really cool. Coach Gilbert, anything else?
No, thank you so much, Coach. And one more, last one, because John, I get it. I understand. There's a lot of football players in Brazil that start making a lot of money on the beginning. They still so young. They go to a lot of trouble. But now we see that Jon Jones, he grows. Like he's not the guy that goes to trouble. So you as a coach, how you see the progression? The guy that's super talented, but then gets in trouble a little bit here and there, and then got back, and then go crazy and got back. But now finally, like he wanna and maybe possibly end the capture, end that capture of the UFC. But how proud of you that the guy that a lot of crazy things happen, but now he's kind of like he looks in the right direction. Looks that he's focused, that he's training, he's loving his family. So how proud are you to be on that journey with him?
Well, you couldn't have said it better, right? That's my greatest accomplishment as a coach. I'm trying to build better men. If we win championships, if we win fights, great. But in the big scheme of things, it's all small compared to like the impact we can make just being good men, right? Good husbands, good fathers, good brothers. And I've been so proud to see John's growth. I see the way he works hard in our community. I bring my sons. I'm very blessed and fortunate to be able to bring my sons into practice, and I'm very very proud of that atmosphere that they're getting to learn amongst these great men. So um, it's just been one of the greatest gifts in my life to be able to be part of Jon's team and to go through all these trials and tribulations. And at the end of the day, we're going to look back and we're going to say exactly that we became better men because of it all. So
How old is your boy now?
I have three sons, 21, 17, and my youngest will turn 14 the day before the fight.
The
So
youngest is 14. I remember he was like this
Mhm.
big right here. Is 14? Wow.
Yeah, and just like so many of the coaches and fighters' families, like they've just grown up in the gym. To them, they obviously know what Jon has accomplished and that he's like an icon, but he's just like Uncle Jon to them.
Yeah,
So I
that's
just
pretty
love them
cool.
being able to be in there and share the mats and becoming strong young men themselves.
Awesome. Awesome.
Super excited for Saturday night. I'm gonna be there, but I'm
Yeah,
most excited for the message. I want to see if it's to be done. The guy gets the belt. I want to see what he's gonna say. What's the message? Because it gotta be something powerful. Like, hey, that's what I'm looking for. For sure, I'm looking forward for the fight. But I'm looking forward to after the fight when he get the mic. Man, what he gonna say? Like, I wanna hear. Like,
I'm hoping for two messages. Like first the nice message, like the nice speech after the fight, and then he's like, "Hey, Portan, get your ass in here, boy!" And I was like, "Ah, I'll see you in March." Oh my
oh, that
God,
would
the
be
world's
epic.
gonna stop.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you there, Gilbert, and thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you so much, Coach.